They'll be able to cover a lot more ground in daylight.
Where else are they going to look? They've searched everywhere.
Well, Robert's a bright little lad, isn't he?
Very.
Come and sit down, Sarah. It's a cup of tea. Think how many outbuildings there are on this farm alone. There's plenty of places like this between here and Houghton. We could easily have found somewhere to keep warm.
What if somebody's got him? What if he's fallen?
Then they'll still find him. Oh, tea, Jack? It's fresh.
Don't want to spoil your cosy little tea party.
He blames me.
I'm sure he doesn't.
They all will.
Gossip's the same in town and country. But Jack's saying things he doesn't mean. People do at times like this. He'll come round.
In his own time, when all this is over?
Yeah, you'll see.
It'll be too late then. Way too late.
What's up with her?
I don't know. She's due to drop and nout's happening. You go up with the police on the tops after?
Thought I'd give you a break. Let you get some sleep.
Oh, I'm all right for a while yet. I've still got plenty of tea left in the flask.
Spare some.
Yeah. What's up, Nobby, up at the house yet?
Regular little woman's tea club in there. You'd think there was nothing going on.
Oh, he'll be safe. Come back safe and sound, Jack. I just know it.
Well, they'd have found him by now. If he'd been round here, he'd know where he was, know the land. Up at Sarah's fancy man's.
Oi, boss or not, Jack, just take a bit of advice from a mate. Wasn't it you and Sarah to each other's throat that made him run away in the first place?
Well, what would you have done, Ned? If Jan had taken up with some bloke, if he was filling her head full of fancy ideas so that she'd lie to her family, didn't even care about them.
You know exactly what I'd have done. The same as you. Only I'd have probably broken his flaming neck. Then I'd be stood here taking good advice from you.
Yeah,
Someone coming.
Oh, that's D.I. Farrow's car.
Morning, Mrs. Sugden. Your husband about?
Yeah, he's in the lambing shed. Is there some news?
Yeah, in a minute. Mrs. Sugden? That happen often?
Yeah.
Here, I'll take it off you, Jack.
Poor little beggar.
Is there any news?
Couple of possible sightings, but nothing to get excited about, but we're checking them out.
Why aren't you there, then? You've nothing else to go on.
Been talking to the press?
You are joking.
This is rubbish.
Funny how it looks to everybody else, isn't it?
Oh, don't start that again, Jack. I'm tired of it.
I thought you ought to see it. The press might be able to help.
But our private life splashed all over the paper is going to help us.
Get them on your side, Jack.
This is hardly going to make people want to help us, is it?
Which is why I want to concentrate on Robert. That's what all this is about, after all.
How?
Press conference.
Oh, let them have another go at us.
No. Either you or Mrs. Sugden make a statement. That's all, no questions. And it might... Well, if someone is holding Robert, this could be as close as you get to talking to him direct. Now, when we get in there, it's important that we get the right message across. They'll be watching every little move. Oh, and remember, it may be the only chance you get to talk to Robert. Or if someone is holding him.
See you later.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, as I'm sure you'll all understand, both Mr. and Mrs. Sugden are too upset to get into a question and answer session, but Mr. Sugden does have a statement to make.
I just want to appeal to anyone who can help me get my little boy back. Please, Robert, if somehow you're reading this or watching it, come home. You know how much we all love you and miss you. And if someone out there knows where Robert is, please let us know. Let the police know. let my little boy come home.
I think that covers it, ladies and gentlemen.
Could we get a photograph of Mr. and Mrs. Sugden with the baby? That help, Jack. Have you got any comment to make about the story that appeared in this morning's paper about Mrs. Sugden and the professor?
You think you wrote it?
I told you, Miss Ackroyd.
They do want our help. It is in the public interest.
I don't believe this. Come on, Sarah. You're only going to make things worse.
It can't get any worse. Can't you see how hard this is for us? And yet, you're more interested in destroying our family than helping us find our son. Don't you realise that people actually believe everything that you write?
So you're saying you weren't at Professor McKinnon's house?
It wasn't like that. It was just a drink. We were working together and we'd just finished the project we'd been working on, and it was just a quick drink to say thank you. I've done nothing wrong. Please believe me. This is all a terrible nightmare. Please don't make it worse. Please help us to find our son.
What do you reckon? Well, you never can tell.
If anybody has any information leading to...
I don't believe you two. Getting the kiddie back's what matters, not was she or wasn't she. I mean, all she did was have a drink with the bloke she worked with. Are we going out, or will people read something into it if Luke comes as well?
I've ever come so close to hitting a woman before.
Well, a room full of coppers and cameras isn't the right place, is it?
And all they care about is a front page story. Robert isn't a lost little boy. He's just good copy.
Well, according to Jan, Sarah gave them plenty to think about anyway.
Sarah's already given them plenty to think about.
You've got to sort it out, Jack. You and Sarah need each other to get through this mess. What went off before won't do anybody any good going on about it.
If she hadn't been up there, Ned, it never would have happened.
And if you'd have trusted her more and stayed with the kids, it wouldn't have happened, would it?
Well, then why did she lie to me about McKinnon?
Talk to her, Jack. Have it out with her if need be. But you need Sarah by your side when that little lad comes home. Which could happen any time. Maybe even tonight. Who knows, eh?
I'm making some beans on toast. Do you want any?
Not hungry.
You've got to eat.
Wendy, could you give us 5 minutes? I'd like a word with Sarah.
Yeah, no problem.
It's time we talked.
Really? What's so special about now? You've hardly been able to bear being in the same room as me.
Yeah, well, Ned's been giving me a talking to. Says we ought to sort ourselves out before Robert gets back.
So it took Ned to tell you that, eh?
Sarah, my son's out there, you know.
Oh, yeah? Your son, not mine.
Whatever happened between you and McKinnon, I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Jack,
Just let me finish, eh? I don't care about that. I just care about Robert.
You've got a nerve, Jack Sugden. This isn't about Robert, is it? It's about your pride. Just because I'm working with a man means I've got to be sleeping with him? Well, I didn't, Jack. I wouldn't even think about it.
Let's drop it.
No, I'm not dropping it. There's nothing to drop. Nothing happened, Jack. You sit there like you're doing me a favour. Well, maybe this will get through to you.